Good evening to all of you. Welcome to the session. SBI Clerk Mains Model Test 77. The first 5 questions deal with para-jumble. This para-jumble is not that difficult. You can easily get 1, 2, and 3. But after that, it's a bit difficult. Let us take the elimination approach and see what the first sentence is. This meeting, this is demonstrative adjective, cannot be the first sentence. This is because, this is demonstrative pronoun, cannot be the first sentence. There may be a teacher or parent liaison who can help, or you can bring a bilingual friend or relative with you. It cannot be the first sentence. There is no major idea in that sentence. Reject this also. You can always ask the school to find someone who can interpret for you. This also does not project the main idea. As soon as the school year starts, try to find a way to meet your child's teacher. This seems right. We'll hold this one. Don't let a language barrier stop you if you feel uncomfortable speaking in a particular language. No. So what is the first one here? This para-jumble talks about when the school reopens, what are you supposed to do? When it comes to parent-teacher meeting, as soon as the school year starts, try to find a way to meet your child's teacher. This is the first sentence. What is the second sentence? Here the clue for you, a way to meet. Meet is the clue for you. And based on that, what is the second sentence? A is the second sentence. I will write here E-A. And why is it the second sentence? The first sentence talks about as soon as the school year starts, you should have a meeting with the teacher. And this meeting and talking with your child's teacher helps in developing a partnership with the teacher. So to that extent, E-A, they go in a sequence. And what is the third one? F is the third one. Usually what happens, parents-teacher meet, a typical problem. Parent-teacher meet, a typical problem. Language barrier. These kids, they go to a convent, they go to some international school. Sometimes what happens, the mother is not good at English, and if she has to go to the school, there's a communication breakdown. The mother cannot communicate with the teacher. So it becomes a barrier. What is the third sentence? F is the third sentence. Don't let a language barrier stop you if you feel uncomfortable speaking in a particular language. Let not the language barrier stop you when it comes to the parent-teacher meet. So EAF, one idea. What is the fourth one? This is because what you have to say is more important than the language you say it in. What you have to say. Here it talks about, the previous sentence talks about, don't let a language barrier stop if you feel uncomfortable speaking in a particular language. What is the reason? This is because what you have to say is more important than the language you say it in. This is the fourth one. But after that, it becomes a little difficult. What is the fifth one? C is the fifth one. And when there is a problem, usually the school provides something. What is the fifth one? C is the fifth one. There may be a teacher or parent liaison who can help, or you can bring a bilingual friend or relative with you. One solution. And what is the last one? D is the last one. Here it is B, C, D. What is D? You can always ask the school to find someone who can interpret for you. There are 2 ways. One is you can take the help of the teacher or parent liaison who can help you or can bring a bilingual friend or relative with you. And also request the school to find someone who can interpret for you. But you have to convey your ideas. That is very important. It is not the language. It is what you have to say. It has to reach the teachers and the school management. That is very important. So what is the correct order? EAF. You can get all the 3. The basic, it starts with the school year starts. After that, meeting. After that, possible hurdle, language barrier. Then the solution. And language barrier, it should not stop you. Why? What you have to say is more important than the language you say it in. And if you cannot say something in a particular language, there are 2 solutions. One is you can take the help of a bilingual friend or relative with you, or you can request the school to find someone who can interpret for you. So it is not that difficult. You can manage. But 3 for sure. Questions 56 to 60, what do they deal with? Pillars. Sync model. Here you see 2 sentences. Sentence number 1, sentence number 2, and 5 words. You have to select one word that goes with both the sentences. This is known as sync. Sync model. Sync model. Sync complete form is synchronize. Synchronize means what? To match. The word should match both the sentences. It should go with both the sentences. Let us have a look at question number 1. And previous one, I will not say you can get all the 5, but you should get out of 5, you should get 3. The first 3 are rather easy. EAF, easy to make out. 3 I showed. After that, it's a bit difficult. You got to be a little careful. And these 56 to 60, I'm sure you can get all the 5. Should not be a problem. Let us see question number 56. Manju was still asleep when she, the house to do the chores, regular works. Conservationists say there are very few tigers. Before you see the option here and here also, this is a bit difficult. Was still asleep when she left. She, you get confused. Manju or someone else. But the second sentence easy to make out. Conservationists say there are very few tigers left in the world. A standard expression. Left in the world, as the future of the species is threatened by poachers. This means regular daily works. Every day you do a lot of things. And small works, petty works, petty. Petty means what? Small, petty works. And poachers. Poaching means killing animals illegally. Someone kills an animal illegally, that is known as poaching, and the person is called a poacher. And when you read articles on environment, protection of endangered species, obviously you come across a pattern like this. Very few tigers left in the wild, a standard expression. Very few tigers left in the world, another expression. Based on that, what is the answer? Let us consider. When she left the house, this is right, and very few tigers left in the world. There are very few tigers left in the world. This is also right. And you should feel quite comfortable when you select a word. That is very important. And you don't feel comfortable, in my opinion, that's not a good thing. You may ask, sir, why do you say that? In my opinion, when you answer a particular question, do remember, you should feel very comfortable. You may ask why. Once you feel comfortable, if I have to answer a question like this, I know for sure this is the answer. I won't even go for the other options. I may cross-check to be on the safe side. And if I know for sure this is the answer, I will focus on the next question, question number 57. Completely the focus will be on question number 57. I will not think of question number 56. But what happens, imagine you have a doubt. You are not damn sure about this option. And somehow you have managed to tick the third option. When you come to the next question, this bothers you. And you may feel a little uncomfortable. That is not good. Once you answer a question, you should know for sure that is the answer. And there should not be any ambiguity whatsoever. So left, still, because I have to explain, we'll look at other options and see whether they're right or wrong. And here, Manju was still asleep when she remained in the house. That is not, when she remained in the house, perhaps, grammatically correct. When she entered the house, and conservationists say there are very few tigers entered in the world, that is not at all right. Here, she leaving the house would have been better. Living is not correct. And when she locked the house is right, but here, tigers locked is not correct. Here what happens, sync model, this is an important model. Here you should know all the 5 words, that is one thing, but my approach, before you see the options, when you see the sentences, you should know which word goes with the 2 sentences based on the contextual awareness. That is very important. But still, sync model, a typical approach I tell students, take elimination approach. One word goes with one sentence, it doesn't go with the second sentence. Then eliminate that way. For example, here, when she locked the house, this goes with the first sentence. But very few tigers locked in the world. It doesn't make any sense. That way you have to reject. But all said and done, I say this regularly. I don't know how many of you realize the importance of that. All these questions, pillars, passage, close test, and spot the errors also. If you're aware of the context, 1 second you can answer, and you will be able to think of the right word before you see the options. I want you guys to reach that stage, and if you ask me, sir, is it possible? Definitely it is possible. If you read for 6 months the newspapers, magazines, all these are nothing. We'll go to question number 57. At that point, he had no option, usually. He had no option, he had no choice but to trust Darian. Typical words, before I see the options, at that point he had no choice, he had no option. These are the 2 words I can think of. And it was a terrible for a hiding place. Then I will not consider, it was a terrible options, terrible, I will not consider options. That is ruled out. Then I will look for the word choice. What is the answer? At that point, he had no choice but to trust Darian. It was a terrible choice for a hiding place. And when there is no choice, there is one idiomatic expression. Already have learned that. What is that? Hobson's choice means no choice at all. Now, already I have rejected this one based on grammar knowledge. A terrible options, not correct. A terrible option, ruled out. And he had no idea but to trust. It was a terrible idea. It was a terrible idea for a hiding place. This goes with the second sentence. But at that point, he had no idea but to trust. We don't use, it doesn't go with the first sentence. He had no place. It was a terrible place for a hiding place. This goes with the second sentence, does not go with the first sentence. At that point, he had no way but to trust Darian. It was a terrible way for a hiding place. It doesn't go with the first sentence. It doesn't go with the second sentence. For sure, the answer is the fourth option. One reading, you can answer. Different websites reported a variety of problems ranging, before I see the options, I'll think of the word from, ranging from 11 to 26 in number. Nothing was resolved except possibly the hatred from them. Let us look at the options. Ranging per 11. Range does not take the preposition per. Ranging among, no. Among goes with the second sentence, not with the first sentence. Linking, not relevant here. Ranging from 11 to 26 in number, this seems right. Nothing was resolved except possibly the hatred from them. The hatred from them, perhaps they have resolved. This is also right. Between 11, the ranging between 11 to 26. Between takes the preposition and, not to. So it is not correct. She would drop by shortly to pick up her boarding pass. Before I see the options, one word pops up, boarding pass, for her flight to the Golden West. The company's turnover is expected to pass the 10 million US dollars mark by the end of this year. So boarding pass, that is right. The company's turnover is expected to pass, means cross, to pass the mark, to cross the mark. Now let us look at this one. We don't say boarding cross. The word goes with the second sentence, expected to cross, that is right. But it doesn't go with the first sentence. Boarding badge, we don't use the word badge. Expected to badge is also not correct. Boarding jump, ridiculous, not correct. And boarding ticket, perhaps it is right. But expected to ticket, that is not correct. Very simple. One reading. But in my opinion, when you read this sentence, she would drop by shortly to pick up her boarding pass. Yes. Don't look at the options. The company's turnover is expected to pass the mark. And then you look at the options, you see the word pass, it is right. But because it is a competitive exam, it's always better to look at other options. You should be damn sure about this. But safe side, because negative marking is there, have a look at other options and eliminate quickly. But if you're really confident, you can stick with the first option. You don't have to spend time on other options. Question number 60. It must be nice having your land so close to the park. So near the park, so close to the park. The college has close links with many other institutions. The word close seems right. Let us have a look at the options. So answer is close. We'll have a look at other options and eliminate. It must be nice having your land so tied to the park. Not correct. The college has here having your land so near to the park. So near the park. Near to is not correct. And the college has near links. That is also not correct. It must be nice having your land so many to the park. No meaning at all. The college has many links. Many goes with the second sentence, not with the first sentence. So immediate to the park. The college has immediate links. It doesn't go with the context. As I said, all the 5 you can get. One reading. No need to read the second time, not required. Now here you see the phrases, one sentence divided into 4 parts, or some important parts are given. One part is right and you have to select that one. If all the parts are correct, answer is the 5th option. Every second 3 more Indians are experienced. You should be able to make out this is not correct. Are experienced the internet for the first time, and by 2030, 1 billion Indians will be online. So where is the error? Answer is, here what is the correct expression? Every second 3 more Indians experience. Only you have to use experience. Experience what? The internet. We have to use the verb in present form. The country is doing well, as evidenced by its 3 ports working at full capacity, importing cars and electronics and exporting coffee and cashew nuts. Exporting, when it comes to port, what is the context? 3 ports. 3 ports, obviously any port deals with what? Exports and imports. They have used the right word here, exporting, but here it is not importing, it is importing. What is it? Import. Export, import. This is an easy one, should not be a problem. Then if you ask me, sir, what is the meaning of the word impart? Impart means to give, to share, you can also say generally. To deliver, you could also think of deliver, to share, all these. Impart knowledge. And what is a typical combination? Impart. He is keen on imparting his knowledge to others. That means he wants to impart his knowledge to others. Usually it goes with knowledge, information. In rural China and Turkey, social media are viewed as distractions from education, while in industrial China and Brazil, they are seen to be an educational resource. Now, where is the error? What is the spelling of resource? It is not S, it is C. Resource, resources. Resources, CES. And resource singular, C. It is easy one, an easy one. Research papers include a section on the methods used to conduct a scientific study so that others can repeat the study and verify it. This is a bit difficult, but if you are good at English, you can make out one reading. Research papers include a section on the methods used to conduct a scientific study so that others can repeat the study and verify it. Here it is not, where is it? Methods use is not correct. Used to conduct. Methods used to conduct a scientific study. So that is the answer. The next one, the Financial Action Task Force is an international body that coordinates efforts to prevent criminals from manipulating the financial system. The Financial Action Task Force is an international body that I think, I'm not quite sure, the word should have been that coordinates efforts to prevent criminals from manipulating the financial system. I think there is no error. It is a task force, is an international body that coordinates efforts. Coordinates what? Efforts for what purpose? To prevent criminals from manipulating the financial system. Answer should be the 5th one. Yes, no error as such. What is this? There are 2 passages, this paper. Remember, mains usually they give 2 passages, 3 passages. Sometimes I was told last year, SBI, they gave 4 or 5 passages. And if you are not keen on reading the passage, usually I see a lot of students, when it comes to the mock test, they don't prefer They don't like to read the passage. And sometimes I joke, we will not allow you if you don't read the passage. You have to read the passage and come for the explanation session. What is the reason? I know the importance of that. If you make it a habit, see, our institute, we conduct mock tests every day in and day out. And every mock test is a golden opportunity for you to consolidate your knowledge, to enrich your skills. One of the skills you can enrich without spending extra time, this reading comprehension skill and vocabulary, because they go hand in hand. When you take the mock test, you read the passage. In a way, what are you doing? You're getting exposed to that reading habit. You're exercising the reading habit. And when you read, there are two benefits. One, slowly you get used to the reading habit, and you will be able to understand, you will be able to read faster. And when you attend the explanation session, because you have read the passage, whatever the master says, you will be able to relate, understand in a better way. That in turn consolidates your knowledge. So my suggestion, always read the passage. And if you read the passage regularly, every day mock test, in the exam, they may give 4 passages, 5 passages, doesn't matter. You feel quite comfortable. Otherwise, it becomes a problem. Now, what is this about? This is about the notion. Notion means idea of wisdom. The writer talks about wisdom. What is wisdom? Who has wisdom? How they get wisdom? And how do they behave, those who have wisdom? How do they behave? And what are the 3 dimensions that go with wisdom? And also, generally speaking, wisdom, if you ask someone, how do you define wisdom? You may get 1001 answers, list of answers. That's what the passage talks about. You can answer almost all the questions, should not be a problem. Let us go to question number 66. Which of the following is most nearly the same in meaning as the words given in bold as used in the passage? Moment. The writer talks about something, then he says, let us take a moment. For a moment, let us focus on something else. Means what? Let us take a pause. He has been talking about something. Then he wants the reader to take a pause and focus on something else. So what is the answer here? The 4th word, pause. Pause means you're working on something, you're thinking of something, and you want to stop that and focus on something else. For a moment, let us look at something else. Means what? Take a pause and look at something else. Based on the context, moment means pause. It is not, other options are not correct. Which of the following is most opposite in meaning? Eliminate. Eliminate, one of the meanings, to remove completely. Eliminate, to remove something completely. And here you cannot take the word select. You may get tempted. Eliminate, remove completely. What is the opposite? Answer is create. Create and eliminate. So create is the answer. Other words are easy words. Anything important, I will definitely tell. Bow means what? To bend a little forward with your head forward, and you don't stand straight, you bend a little forward. As a mark of respect, that is known as bowing. Part of Indian culture, as a mark of respect. According to the passage, so you got the answer 66, rather easy. This is the answer. This is only for the sake of meaning I have ticked. Answer is pause and answer is create. You can get easily. According to the passage, which of the following is the author's view of wisdom? Wisdom is limited to a select group of people. No. Wisdom is overrated and is not needed. No. It can be acquired. That is right. It can be. Anyone can acquire wisdom. Usually I tell students, a person is born wise. That is not at all right. Wisdom is the same as intelligence. Both are different. And wisdom has 3 dimensions based on the passage. Answer is the 3rd option. Usually I tell students, do remember, no one is a born leader. No one is a born genius. No one is a born genius. It is impossible. We all acquire based on the society, the family brought up, the surroundings, the friend circle. So many factors shape your personality. And if you are exposed to the right ambience, to the right environment, you will develop certain qualities. If you are not exposed, then it is not possible. That is the reason why we say, imagine there is a pundit. If if it is hereditary, his son also should become a pundit, to use a Sanskrit term. Now it is part of English language. But it is not like that. Imagine there is a scholar, learned person. There is no guarantee that his son is going to become a scholar. It is not like that. No one is a born genius. No one is a born leader. We all become what we become based on so many factors. And when it comes to knowledge, in my opinion, again, one thing matters a lot. I don't believe in intelligence, personally speaking. I don't believe in intelligence. I believe in interest. In my opinion, the best teacher, I always tell students, who is the best teacher? Interest is the best teacher. If you are interested in something, you can acquire a lot of knowledge. You don't need a master. You don't need anything. That passion, this interest is not superficial. When I say interest, what I mean, burning desire. You have the burning desire to learn something. You have the burning desire to acquire knowledge. I call that real interest. That burning desire, it always bothers you. I have to learn, I have to learn. When you have that real interest, not superficial interest, you don't need a teacher. Interest becomes the best teacher. You can learn a lot. And a person, imagine a person, a boy born and brought up in a village, initial stage, still passionate about knowledge, interested in knowledge. He will somehow acquire knowledge and eventually he may become a great scholar. No second thoughts about that. So here, it can be acquired. Which of the following can be the most suitable title for the passage? How all of us are wise? No. The art of appearing wise? No. It is better to be wise than intelligent. It doesn't talk about that. The passage is all about what is wisdom. The definitions, the dimensions, who has, who doesn't have, all those. Ambiguity, a way of life. It is not about ambiguity. It is all about wisdom. So answer is the fifth option. What is wisdom? Which of the following best explains the meaning of avoids categorizing things into either black or white? There's one expression. Two meanings are there. I want everything in black and white. Means I want everything in writing. Be careful with this word. If I use the conjunction and, if I tell someone I want everything in black and white, that means I want everything in writing. He sees everything either in black or white. Black or white, that means good or bad. Only two things, he does not see in between. Based on that, what is the answer? Does not view everything as being either absolutely right or absolutely wrong. Avoid categorizing things into either black or white. So don't see things absolutely right, absolutely wrong. In this world, in fact, there is a saying, what is it? Nothing is absolutely right, nothing is absolutely wrong. That's what it means. According to the author, which of the following is or are the characteristics of wise people? There's a problem with the key. Clearly mentioned in the passage, they are empathetic. They are empathetic. Empathetic means what? Kind and considerate. They have the compassion towards others. They are not limited by their own view of the world. This is also right. They are humble, clearly mentioned. Humble means modest, simple, not proud, down to earth. Based on that, the answer is, the key says some other option, but the answer is, beyond any doubt, the fifth option, all A, B, and C. Clearly mentioned in the passage. Which of the following is not true? You got to be careful. And in the exam, I would like to give a suggestion. Whenever you come across questions related to true or not true, try to avoid initially. At the fag end of the session, if you get enough time, try to answer. Otherwise, don't attempt. Because to answer these true or not true, you have to read the entire passage and you have to be damn sure about every option. Only then you can select the correct option. Each person who aspires to be the next Abraham Lincoln is necessarily wise, not correct. Wisdom is an easy concept to define. No, it is the contrary. The passage says it's a very complicated. If you ask someone to define wisdom, you will get 1,001 answers. Wise people are accepting of ambiguity. No, they always look for clarity, conceptual clarity. If they accept ambiguity, always accepting or accepting, no. Answer is perhaps 72. Let me check. Here answer is the first option. Because all the three not correct, not true. Based on that, all A, B, and C. This is the answer. The question is about what is not true. This is not true. This is not true. This is not true. Answer is all A, B, and C. Which of the following is most nearly the same in meaning as the word radiates? Radiate, general primary meaning shines, but based on the context, it is not brightness, secrete, hold that one, nuclear. No. Generally, radiate means exude. This is the right word to send something out. Radiating, he radiates confidence. Means what? Confidence comes out of his body. It is not secrete. The word secrete goes with animals and plants, and it is not shining. Primary meaning is shining, but based on the context, exudes means emits. What is the right word here? Emit. Emits. So radiates, emits. Radiate, exude, and emit. They all mean the same. Another passage. What is this passage about? Interesting passage. The context is the UK, Britain, and it talks about neighborhoods, rich neighborhoods and poor neighborhoods. If you take Western countries, usually, I will go to the questions and I will explain. If you take Western countries, they have distinct neighborhoods. Rich neighborhood, American English, British English, we use colony or residential area. I'll use the word colony, rich colonies and poor colonies. And usually they are segregated. They are not next to each other or next to one another. And there are certain neighborhoods where poor people live. They are known as ghettos, Ghettos. They're also known as rundown areas. Rundown areas means backward. Ghettos, they're rather dangerous. Now this passage talks about placing poor families in between in a rich neighborhood. Placing a few poor families in the rich neighborhood. Whether it works out or not, they thought it would make a positive impact. What is a positive impact? They thought poor kids, they may take a look at rich kids and cultivate good habits of something of that kind. But they wanted to experiment. They found that certain things don't work out. It is quite opposite. Let us have a look at the questions. Question number 74. Which of the following is true in the context of the passage? The author himself is very poor. Britain is home to the maximum number of poor across the world. In England, preschool meals are successful in schools with less number of students. Children start misbehaving at an early age. However, the behavior subsides with the passage of time. I think the answer should be the fifth option. What is the fifth option here? None of these. But the key says the third option. In England, preschool meals are successful in schools with less number of poor students. I'm not quite sure whether it has been mentioned or not. We'll have a look. Research on England schools turns up a slightly different pattern. Children entitled to preschool meals, a proxy for poverty, do best in schools containing very few other poor children, perhaps because teachers can give them plenty of attention. But revealingly, poor children also fare unusually well in schools where there are a huge number of other poor children. In England, preschool meals are successful in schools with less number of poor students. It talks about the success of the schools where less number of poor students you come across. Based on that, you can say, in England, preschool meals are successful in schools with only a few number of poor students. Perhaps this is the answer, but it is not the direct one. We'll go to question number 75. Which of the following is most nearly same in meaning? Petty. Again, there's a problem with the key. It is not pretty. Pretty means good looking. Pretty baby. Babies we say pretty. Girls we say pretty. And dolls also we say pretty. Cute. Pretty means what? Cute. Huge. And minus, not relevant here. Base. Petty means what? Small. Petty fight. Small fight. Trivial. You should also think of the word trivial. What is the spelling of that? Trivial. Petty cash. Small cash. petty fight, small, petty argument, trivial. So answer should be same in meaning, fifth option. Opposite, what is the word? Intensifies. Intensify means what? To become more, increase. Opposite, he wants. Obviously, the answer is decreases. It is not loses, it is not protects, it is not helps, it is not shames. They are not relevant. And here, pretty, not relevant. Huge. The key says huge. I don't think so. Minus, no. Base, no. Answer, obviously. Same meaning, petty. I also think of the word trivial and not significant. As mentioned in the passage, poor children in England perform better in schools, irrespective of the presence of other poor children in class, because teachers anyway have to fully concentrate on them. They receive better educational books as compared to other students. The examination pattern is very easy. Whether only a few students or a lot of students, the teachers have no choice. Teachers anyway have to fully concentrate on them. Answer is only A. That is the answer, first option. As mentioned in the passage, the poor living in poor neighborhoods refrain from getting involved in antisocial behavior because 78, I have my own doubts. Answer is both A and B. The key says, I'll check the options. Their parents always keep an eye on them. Their main focus is on earning money to lead a better lifestyle. Perhaps, this is also perhaps, such locations are constantly under police watch. I don't think this has been mentioned anywhere. Based on that, the answer is the fourth option, both A and B. A refrain means what? Not to indulge, keep away, avoid something. Refrain from what? Getting involved in antisocial behavior. Usually, the passage talks about that goes with rich kids, not with poor kids. That is based on common sense. Parents always keep an eye on them. Their main focus is on earning money to lead a better lifestyle. Which of the following can be a suitable title to the passage? England, a country on the verge of. On the verge of means on the edge of becoming poor. Not correct. Addressing and tackling the root cause of poverty. Hold this one. Providing free meal, the need of the hour. Exploring the impact of neighborhood on the poor. This is what the passage is all about, the impact of neighborhood, colony, on the poor people. If poor people are placed in a rich neighborhood or a rich colony, what is the impact of that? How do they respond? How do they behave? Crystal clear answer is the fourth option. Which of the following correctly explains the meaning of the phrase a proxy? Proxy means representative. So substitution, free, food coupons, method. Method to worsen the present situation, latest technology. Representative, substitution, obviously. Proxy war, a typical combination, and substitution. First option is the answer. You can answer all these questions, but the point here, you should be able to read within that stipulated time. 35 minutes you have to read and you have to answer all the questions. And that time is enough in my opinion. Should not be a problem. And tomorrow I will tell you how to divide the time, whether 35 minutes enough or not. One of the extraordinary things about the modern world is that many of us take food for granted. This is about, now the next 10 questions deal with closed test, again easy to answer. We take food for granted. However, for most of history, the struggle to have something to eat, again the struggle to, do you have something to eat? Quite often we ask the question. The struggle to have something to eat, a standard expression. The struggle to have nothing, meaningless. Something to eat, standard phrase. Less to eat, not correct. Plenty of to eat, not grammatically correct. Delicacy to eat. Delicacy means something that is very tasty, delicious, and something special, a special dish. It doesn't, here it is a question of survival. We cannot use the word delicacy here, though it is a good word. Answer is, they struggle to have something to eat across the world. All but were either farmers or farm workers. Again, there's a problem with the key. Key is not correct. All but out, not, where is the second one? Here. All but whom were either, not correct. All but a few were either farmers or farm workers. All but one of them you cannot say were. So this is not correct. All but many, no, doesn't go with the context. All but people, no. Here the context is what? Many in the past, they were farmers or farm workers. All but a few. A few were not, like landlords. They were not, perhaps, a few landlords and a few business community people. All but a few. A standard expression again. All but a few were either farmers or farm workers. Easy to make out. In 1900, 5 American laborers. 2 out, no. 2 not, no. 2 other than, no. They were, no. 2 in every 5 American laborers, a standard expression. In 1900, 2 in every 5 American laborers worked on a farm. Now, the figure is 1 in 50. My goodness, see the difference. In the past, agriculture, farming was a main community. Because of that, 2 in every 5 American laborers worked on a farm. But the present modern age, now the figure is, the statistical data is 1 in 50 American laborers works on a farm. Only 1 in 50. Very unfortunate. I think the same thing is going on in our country as well. What is the answer here? The figure, and here in every. Easy again. One reading you should be able to. The assumption today is that everyone you cannot use a plural verb. Everyone needs, you cannot use need. Everyone was having, again not today is, the assumption is that, today is that, you cannot use past. Everyone has sufficient food. Assumption, assume means what? You think of something but there is no evidence for that. Then we use the word assumption. Don't assume things, a standard expression. Find out the facts, don't assume things. The assumption today is that everyone has sufficient. Everyone has sufficient food. One reading you can make out. This assumption is faulty. Famine has ended in much of the world, but it does still occur in some parts of the world. Ended in much of the world, but, let us hold that one. How? Not relevant. In spite of it does, not grammatically correct. Unless, not relevant here. Where it does, not grammatically correct. So you should be able to make out this assumption is faulty. Why? Famine has ended in much of the world, but it does still occur, emphatic, but it does still occur in some parts of the world. Perhaps there's a full stop. Many of people, not correct, excuse me. Some of people, not correct. Much of people, not correct. 100 of people, no, hundreds would have been better. Millions of people also do still suffer from famine's lesser cousin, malnutrition. Today, a lot of people may not suffer from this lack of food, but a lot of people do suffer from its cousin, lesser cousin, malnutrition. Malnutrition is a major problem in the world. Answer is what? Here, but is the answer, and millions of people, hundreds of people, millions of people. Other options are not correct. 88. Although the UN's Food and Agriculture Organization, some 2 billion of the world's 7.3 billion population have enough to eat. We cannot use the word although here. There is no contrasting information. Report of the UN's food. No. Then you need a verb. According to. This seems right. Hold that one. In its opinion. No. Perhaps there is no verb. According to the UN's Food and Agriculture Organization, some 2 billion of the world's 7.3 billion population have enough to eat. Often, here 7.3 billion population don't have. World's 2 billion of the 2 billion of the world's 7.3 billion population do not have enough to eat. Some 2 billion people do not have enough to eat. Today also, as of now. Answer here according to one report, and here do not have. What is the last blank? Moreover, by 2050, the total population is to grow to almost 10 billion. Before you see the option, you have to know the population is projected to reach, projected to grow, projected to touch. These are the typical expressions. Hold this one. Is yet to grow, not correct. Is accounted, not relevant. is estimated, not estimating is not correct, is probably to grow, not correct. General standard expression, moreover, by 2050, the total population is projected to grow to almost 10 billion. No second thoughts. When you see this, you should know for sure, you should be very happy. When you have the contextual awareness, when you are exposed to the language, obviously all these questions, you should get 10, all the 10 correct. And passage, in my opinion, I don't know total how many questions, 15 plus, you should get in the range of 12 and 15, very easy. In my opinion, this is an easy paper. You should get out of 40 questions, 30 questions easy to answer. The range, you can easily answer between 30 and 35. Absolutely no problem, provided you're exposed to the language. You have been reading a lot, you have been exposed to the language, English language, then all these are silly questions in my opinion. Mains level, not worth. It may be a little sort of exaggeration or looking down upon the person who has set the paper, but frankly speaking, you have above average, average, below average, average, above average. We never consider below average, and a lot of people, they belong to this average, but who get the selection, those who get selected, obviously they belong to the top rung, above average. For above average people, English point of view, above average, who is above average? A person who reads a lot, a person who has been reading the newspapers. He has already got exposed to the language. For him, these are rather easy. That's it for today. Thank you very much.